Hi guys, it's me Faye here at Faye Dusk, and I'm doing another video for my Back to Basics series. And by the time you watch this video, my other video that I've just filmed for this series will be up. And that video was how to write your own spells. So I thought if I was doing a spell video, I felt that it would tie it in quite nicely to do a sort of spells, like what is a spell and like spell ethics video. So that's what this video is going to be about, and I'm going to try not to ramble and make it quick and make it as quick and concise as possible. So to start from the beginning, to use a very simple explanation, a spell is a form of an elaborate prayer. Like you are asking the universe for guidance or assistance or an answer or a push in the right direction for whatever situation or circumstance that you have come upon in your life. The reason why spells, as opposed to just a prayer, as opposed to just asking the god or the goddess for guidance or whatever, in spells we use, or people do use, different tools and different types of herbs and different colours and candles and things that they feel represent that aspect that they're asking for guidance on. And the reason that they do that is that it helps sort of like helps to focus you and your intention, and it just sort of, these things that you use, they all have their own sort of like vibrations and energies, and a witch can harness and manifest those energies to help put out to the universe, to help give an extra push for whatever it is that you're asking for. So that is the main reason that witches use different tools and things like that. But having said that, some spells don't require any tools or elaborate rituals or anything like that, and some people just don't use tools and things because either they can't, or they feel like they don't need to, or whatever reason, and they feel that the power of their intention is enough alone. And also some people, like a situation calls for a spell like on the fly, and I'm going to do a separate video about that. But a spell on the fly, so basically a spell where you're literally you're either out and about, or you're somewhere where you haven't got access to all your tools and things like that, or you can't use things. You can only like use your mind and your words, or maybe you can't even speak at all, and because it could be who you're around or where you are or whatever, and that's okay as well, and that is a form of spell as well. And yeah, so I think I've touched on what a spell is very brief, and that was a very brief explanation. There are many different interpretations of what a spell is. That is just one interpretation. So if you have a different understanding of what a spell is, then that's totally cool, because there are different understandings and things like that. So now we've touched on what a spell is, I just briefly wanted to talk about spell ethics, as I think it is very important. I know a lot of, especially beginners, like Wiccan and pagan books that have like a lot of spells, and they usually have a chapter talking about like spell ethics. And basically spell ethics is sort of like, it's like etiquette really, about sort of like right and the wrong things to do with regards to spells. And obviously the biggest thing is not to tamper with anybody's free will. So that is why you'll find, especially nowadays, that a lot of pagan and witchy books don't necessarily have a chapter on love spells, because obviously that is always the most popular thing that everybody wants, is a love spell, or it will have a chapter on love spells, but it won't have spell to make a certain someone fall in love with you, because obviously that is messing with their free will, because they may not actually feel that way. And yeah, so instead spells will be written to work around that. So instead of a spell to have a certain someone fall in love with you, like a certain person, it will be a spell to attract somebody in your life that you need at this time, or somebody with certain qualities that you admire or that you look for in a partner, or to get somebody, but like a general somebody, or the right person to notice you, not somebody that you've sort of like forced to, as that always sort of like can always end in tears. So that's the main thing ethics wise, is not to mess with anybody's free will. So that's usually what the ethics, oh sorry I keep moving, my leg's gone dead. So that's what the ethics side usually puts great emphasis on. But also there's the sort of like the, you know, basically the very, very simple part of the Wiccan the harm none, do what you will. And that is, it doesn't just go from tampering with somebody's free will in that sort of sense. It's also in the like hexing people, or putting a spell on people without their knowledge, that sort of thing. And obviously what I am talking about now is a really grey area, and I'm not saying that it, ow, I'm so sorry, my leg has gone so dead, ow, 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 oh, oh, that hurts. And I'm not saying that, I'm not saying that I think that is 110%, like you can't ever practice a spell or put a spell on somebody without their knowledge, because there are certain mitigating circumstances, or if somebody has an illness or something like that, and you want to, I don't know, to cast a spell to help them with their symptoms or things like that, or there's just like loads of different, or what about if somebody hurt your family? Obviously vengeance isn't always the answer, but I mean, you might want to cast some sort of ritual or spell to sort of freeze out their malicious intentions towards you and things like that. So I think the important thing is when you're, I don't know why I sound so nasally all of a sudden, but the important thing is when you're looking at spell ethics is to remember that that to take everything that you sort of read or think with a pinch of salt, because obviously whilst it's very important, not every situation is not black and white for every single situation. So the ethics don't always apply in the same way to certain situations. I just personally think, from a personal level, that before you cast any spell or ritual, that it's important to think how that spell or ritual can affect and impact others. And I'm not even just talking about people, I'm talking about if you do your spells outside, maybe how what you're doing affects the environment or other animals and wildlife there. So I think that's a very important thing to think about as well. So I think that it's just important in general just to be aware of what you do and how it can impact others. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I try not to ramble, but I don't think that I succeeded, because I think I did ramble. But I would love to know your thoughts and your feelings on ethics and things like that, so feel free to comment below. And also how you interpret what a spell is, I'd be really interested to know what you think as well. So yeah, so I will see you very soon in my next video. Bye.